Hello, ladies. I wanted to drop in for a bonus session at the end the Find Good Men Challenge. I know that we concluded over the weekend, and there's something that I feel like is probably the most important thing as you're going to find, as you're dating, as you're looking for a good man, as you're hoping that he will find you. And this tool, which is really just something simple, it's really basic, but I think it's essential. It's like the best thing you can have, the tool in your toolbox as you're going out there to date. And that is building self-trust. And self-trust really encompasses a couple different things, but I want to share about what happens when you have ruptured self-trust, because when you have a ruptured self-trust, it's kind of like the same as when you have a trust broken in a relationship. Maybe a friend broke your trust. Maybe they lied to you. Something happened in the past. And there's usually a process, right, that it takes to be able to reestablish trust, to reconcile, to have that trust rebuilt, that they prove that they're, a trustworthy person. And so a similar process is what we need to do with ourselves when we've gone through something in the past where we've broken that trust. And this can look like a lot of different things. I mean, it can look like maybe you were in a relationship in the past with someone who wasn't that good for you. And the whole time you're in that relationship, you were kind of overlooking what you really wanted. You were pushing aside your needs, and you were staying in the relationship maybe longer than you felt good. And all this time, yourself inside is like, what about me? What are you ignoring me? I need this. And your other self is saying, nope, 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 because we're gonna please this person to stay in this relationship. So you put like the person or the relationship ahead of what you needed. And all the while, there's that ruptured trust with yourself. Well, it can happen in all kinds of ways. And so I wanted to quickly just talk about 4 different ways that you can start to rebuild that trust. Like, what are some of the elements that are needed to be able to rebuild that trust? So the first one is practicing meeting our needs, our desires, our wants again. So this can be like really little things, right? It can even start out as small as like, I have to go to the bathroom. I stop and I go. I don't just postpone it for an hour because I'm busy working. I have a need, I honor it, I go. And so it's taking those little things that maybe you've ignored in the past, or maybe you've not felt your feelings. Maybe you say, oh, I'm gonna, I usually stuff down my feelings, but I'm gonna go for 30 minutes and journal about my feelings. Or I'm gonna, go on a date, and then I'm going to have a little like self check-in and think, how did I feel on that date? What would I like to do differently? Am I really interested in him? You're just like checking in with yourself, going inside and really honoring what has to be said. But the thing is, the next point is sometimes we don't honor ourselves because there has been a hurt, a broken heart, a broken a dysfunctional pattern experience has caused a lot of hurt in the past. And so we've learned not to trust ourselves because we kind of shut those parts down so we don't want to get hurt again. Or maybe we are abandoned and we don't want to lose connection. So we try to get other people's approval to avoid our own, at the loss of the expense of our own connection with ourselves. And so it's really important to be able to walk through a healing process to heal some of those stories that we created that maybe aren't true about ourselves and about people, that were really hurtful and painful, to be able to speak truth about those things in a safe environment with people that are caring and listening and really for your best and highest good. The next thing is kind of related to the first, and that's just really setting out to honor your own needs. What are your needs in life in general? And what are your needs in relationship? So if we aren't honoring our needs, which really can come in all different areas of our lives, right? It can be, what are our spiritual practice needs? Are we doing those things? what are our diet needs and our exercise needs? Are we doing those things? What are our emotional, relational, friendship needs? What about our life purpose? Do we feel like we're living on mission, or like we are doing something that brings us alive? If we're regularly seeking to meet those needs, or find the reasons why we're not dealing with the reasons why we're not meeting them, getting support, then when we're meeting men and a guy doesn't seem open to respond to something that we told him that we needed, it's going to be a turnoff. We're going to be like, oh, well, that doesn't feel very good, because, myself over here, I'm regularly meeting my needs. And so if someone isn't up for that, it's going to seem real clear that they're probably not a match for you. And then the last thing I want to talk about is getting outside support to really be able to trust yourself and your intuition. Have you ever had the experience where you're like, okay, I got to make this decision and I'm not really sure. I'm kind of going around in circles trying to figure out, like, do I do this? Do I do that? I don't know. There's this angle and there's that angle. So you go to your friend and you're like, friend, help me out. I don't know what to decide. And you tell your friend, and your friend kind of listens, and she can already hear like what you're leaning towards. And, she can see your face light up about the one thing, or, you kind of got like small and contracted when you talked about the other thing. And so those people just kind of reflect to you, yeah, I'm hearing this, and, I'm sensing this, and I already think you know the answer, don't you? And so sometimes the best friends are the ones that just like draw it out of you. Like, you already know what is your gut telling you. And a lot of times outside support, community can be the very thing that helps reflect back to you what you already know. It gives you courage. It helps you to get stronger inside. It helps you to go out and act on what your intuition is saying, so that you can, if let's say you're meeting a guy, you're like, I don't know, like, I'm kind of not feeling that great about this thing he did. What do you guys think I should do? You're actually, they can hear it in your voice. They can reflect it back to you and kind of get you back in sync with what your insides are saying, what your body is saying, what your feelings are saying. So you can be like, they should be like, yeah, it just sounds like that doesn't, that's not working for you. And just having that reflection back can really strengthen us as building that trust with ourselves. Because when we act on that, I tell you, it brings stress relief. It gives, our chest pump up more. We feel more confident. As you build self-trust, it's a very attractive quality. So it not only helps us in our decision-making, it helps men, they sense the integrity within us, and it helps us to just really stand in our clarity, so that we can be sure when it comes time to filtering out men, saying yes or no, and knowing what we feel, and being able to exit relationships before they go to a bad place. Because honestly, that's a lot of times what women who've had repeated patterns is, will get stuck in a similar pattern. And in order to move past that pattern, it takes a support and accountability to confirm that what you're seeing and what you're feeling is legit, and to make a decision based on that feeling. So being in a group when you're going through this process is so helpful. I mean, it's so vital to be able to have people in our lives that reflect back to us, hey friend, like, what do you see about this? This is what I'm experiencing. What are your thoughts? And you're doing your own work in terms of honoring yourself, but you also, in order to change patterns, have that outside circle to help you stay on track and stay in integrity and honor yourself and your needs. So as you know, I sent out the email regarding the group I have coming up on March 7th, Attract Your Best Match in 2022. And if this challenge has served you in any way, and you feel like now is the time that I do need that tribe of women around me, the women that are intentionally, this is their goal right now, with a guide coach who will be able to also see things that I can't see for myself, to move beyond patterns that I've done for years that I'm like, if you're like, I'm ready to be done with this silly pattern that I have, I'm ready to like move the things that I haven't been able to move on my own. I'm able to, I want to release the things that I've had like faulty thinking around, and have people reflecting, true thinking back to me, so that I can really step into the women that I'm fully meant to be, and really attract that king that's meant to walk beside me. So if that's something that you want, and that, yes, this is the time for me, I really want to encourage you to consider joining this group. If you feel a call, if you feel a tug in your heart that this is the time for you to work on this, then, it's sometimes we can think, oh, I don't know if I have time. I don't know if I have the money, but I want to encourage you to think about how important this is in your life on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. Having a partner by your side, having someone as a companion to make decisions, and to think of the things in life that maybe, to offload responsibilities you don't like, and maybe you do ones that they don't like, and just having that, to build a family together, if that's what you want, to be able to be in purpose together. If that's something that you just know, like, I haven't been able to do it up until this point. How do I know that one more group is going to help me? One more class, one more this, it hasn't worked until now. How do I know that this could help me in any way that's any different? And, I can't give you that 100% guarantee, but if you feel like something about the way that I work, something about the process that I've talked about, in that we work on getting into our energy and making that the healed heart rate, be able to radiate your authentic self, to be able to build self-trust, and these kind of things that will more easily help you to attract men that are good for you, and also be able to filter them out with more ease and confidence. So I hope that you'll join me on this group if that's calling to you. I know it's not for everyone, but if you're feeling a tug on your heart, and if you have any questions for me, I would be happy to answer them. And so tonight at midnight Pacific time, the early discount closes, and there will be one more early discount. It won't be as much as this one, but I still hope that you guys will remain in this group until the 7th, that you'll be practicing putting some of these actions into play, with getting out there, making eye contact, connecting with men, going on dates, practicing, how you feel on dates, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how can you show up with, more expression, a notch higher than what you normally would. How can you share vulnerably from your feelings? Just practicing all the things that we talked about over these couple of days. And I really want to know how it impacts your results, or whatever happens. I'll be so curious to hear. So please, please, please share any thoughts, experiences, all of that in the group. All right, ladies. Well, this brings me to the end of our challenge. And I hope that you will stay involved in my community. I love seeing women reach their goals in relationships in my world. So let's be in touch. And I hope that if this group calls to you to join, I'll drop the link in the comments below. And if not, please stay in my community, and let's be in touch. All right, take care.